Om Tavakatamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhavignantiye Bhurita Janaha. Thy words of immortality, full of divine glories, they're praised by the sages. They are auspicious to hear. They destroy sin and the threefold miseries of life. Those, O Lord, who receive and spread thy words are the greatest benefactors. The Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, page 114. Sri Ramakrishna continues. M is asking these questions. Sir, may I make an effort to earn more money? The Master. It is permissible to do so to maintain a religious family. You must try to increase your income, but in an honest way. The goal of life is not the earning of money, but the service of God. Money is not harmful if it is devoted to the service of God. So, here we have Sri Ramakrishna saying, okay, let's not take that idea of a religious family and in a small sense. When you have or strive for high ideals, that itself is a form of religion. And when you strive for truth, to know what reality is, that is religion. That constitutes the whole of religion. It's not just being involved in rituals, prayers, etc. You do your weekly religious duty and that's over. That's not what he means, I think. So it's difficult in these days to have everybody striving to know reality of God. However, like Sri Ramakrishna says, yes, you may increase your income, but in an honest way. That is also now a big problem in today's world. But he clarifies it. The goal of life is not the earning of money, but the service of God. You serve God because you've made God your goal in life. And in other places, Sri Ramakrishna, the goal of life is to see God. And this is I remember when I first read it, oh my God, really? And I was wondering, what is my goal of life? And it was clear. Oh, that's what the whole thing is. So he speaks about this, and what happens is when you serve God, you serve all. That has to be understood. Otherwise, okay, I'm only serving my own deity and my own limited idea of, you can say, Godhead. And I forget that there are others who are also religious, so who are in need. So Swami Vivekananda instituted this idea of serving others as manifestations of that Godhead. So this has to be understood. It's not just that ritualism that we are talking about, but the idea of serving God in human beings. And this has been the central, you can say, idea behind the order's various activities. M. Then, how long should a man feel obliged to do his duty towards his wife and children? Master, as long as they feel pinched for food and clothing. But one need not take the responsibility of a son when he is able to support himself. Then he explained, when the young fledgling learns to pick its own food, the mother pecks it if it comes to her for food. We see this all over nature. So the children have grown up, they can stand on their own feet, they become independent, they are responsible. There. How long must one do one's duty? The blossom drops off when the fruit appears. One doesn't have to do one's duty after the attainment of God, nor does one feel like doing it then. Now, so we keep on doing our work, our duties, our responsibilities, take care, till the attainment of God. It might take a few lifetimes, but of course, that is what we've got to strive for. The idea is things will drop off by themselves. You don't need to kind of calculate, is this the time to kind of give up my responsibilities? No, you keep on doing it, things will drop off, and then you will know. And then he gives the example. As if a drunkard takes too much liquor, he cannot retain consciousness. If he takes only 1 or 2 glasses, he can go about with his work. As you advance nearer and nearer to God, He will reduce your activities little by little. Have no fear. This is also true in many cases. When you have attained something that you have been striving for, it's become one with it, then that mad rush of adrenaline that you had in trying to acquire it is kind of tempered slowly. Now it's yours. And then what happens is the idea of truth or reality to be attained, it's not something static. It is responsive to your spiritual practices, your prayers or japa or meditation, whatever. It is actively helping you in your path. Right now we don't feel it because does God respond to our prayers? And we have seen Sri Ramakrishna says, yes, certainly. He responds to sincere prayers. So the goal is not something that I need to travel all alone and go right over the horizon and then I don't know what happens. No. Sri Ramakrishna says you take 1 step towards God, God takes 10 steps towards you. That is, the reality, the ideal that you are striving for is in constant interaction with you on a very deeper level. So that is what guides you. And later on, as you say, the activities will drop. That reality itself will, what happens is you'll be so suffused with that joy and that bliss. All the old things have just washed away from your mind. It does not matter at all. So that's what happens. So as you approach a reality, the reality also approaches you, and there is an interaction constantly. Then he continues, finish the few duties you have at hand, and then you will have peace. He gives the example. When the mistress of the house goes to bathe after finishing her cooking and other household duties, she won't come back, however you may shout after her. This is more, it's true, it's all over the place. Like, finished all the work, and typically in India, they used to go, finished cooking and all, and before eating, they used to bathe. They go to the village pond and bathe and then they come back. So he's giving the idea. So after you finish your duties, nothing is going to draw you back. M. Sir, what is the meaning of the realization of God? What do you mean by God vision? How does one attain it? This is a nice question. According to the Vaishnavas, that is the Vaishnavas, the worshippers of the deity Vishnu, they are called Vaishnavas. And they have a very large, you can say, not a sect, but it's more like a movement within Hinduism. It's a very powerful denomination, influential. According to the Vaishnavas, the aspirants and the seekers of God may be divided into different groups. These are, he'll explain, the Pravartaka, the Sadhaka, the Siddha, and the Siddha of the Siddha. And he explains, one who has just set foot on the path may be called a Pravartaka. So this is like, in Buddhism we have the stream enterer. You have just stepped into the stream. Like, so it's a Pravartaka is one who begins, the beginner. Again in Buddhism, you have something called the monkey mind. The beginner's mind is the monkey mind. From us also, after all these years also, you say mind is like a monkey only, in the sense of it's restless, constantly restless. So the first step in spiritual practice is the class of people, they are called the Pravartaka. It might take a few months, it might take a few years, but you have begun. And as you begin, you keep on molding your now duties in your life around this. Because you have now become convinced that this is what I want to attain. Otherwise, you become a beginner, a Pravartaka, and then after a few days or a few months, you just let go. Oh no. You come out of the stream. No way. That's not meant for me. So that stamina, that conviction, that is absent. The Pravartaka has that conviction. Because life teaches you, the best teacher that you can ever have is your own life. And then the beginner convinced is, then he's saying, he may be called a sadhaka, the second class, who has for some time been practicing spiritual disciplines such as worship, japa, meditation, and the chanting of God's name and glory. Yeah. This is sadhana. That is, you are now striving for perfection. You're not just a beginner. You're striving for perfection. You're striving to get away from the ordinary life that you lead. People say, what is this japa, the repetition of God's name and dhyana, and all these kind of prayers? What is this? You're trying to raise your consciousness to a higher level. That's what it means. These are the means. It's not the end in itself. Because there will come a time when japa itself, the repetition of God, will come to an end. Dhyana itself will come to an end. Prayers will come to an end. And all these chanting of God's name and glory, they will also come to an end. So these are the means. The end is to raise your consciousness to a level which is above the mundane. And that's what, because you've had enough of it. You've been like a football. You've been kicked and thrown about. Yeah, that's what we think we are kind of. But then, you see, we are just at the mercy of people and circumstances. And so, you want to get away from this ordinary level of life that you think. Because there is always an urge within all of us to go towards something that is blessedness, that will give you peace. All of us. But then we don't know the path and we don't know the way. And that's why we get stuck up. We want to find peace in the mundane, the small things, the perishable things, that which is evanescent, transitory. So this is the second class of people. Sri Ramakrishna Kandi. He may be called a Siddha who has known from his inner experience that God exists. This is the Siddha. Siddha is, the literal translation means perfect. Sadhana, when one does sadhana, it's a means, it leads to Siddhi, perfection. So when you're rowing a boat, you want to head in a particular direction. You're driving a car, you're not going to rev the engine and keep on sitting down there. I'm going to. No. You got to have a goal. You got to drive down there. So sadhana, practicing sadhana, what happens is the body and the mind are now fitted for higher things. Right now, the body and the mind, the sensory system, is only fit for experiencing this world of grossness, this world of sensible matter. Yes, and so that's the reason why the body and the mind has to become fine, purified. And this opens your perception for the higher realm. So that's the reason why they say, if you keep on, Holy Mother also, the more you keep on doing the repetition of God's name, your body and mind gets purified. So this very sensory system is not capable for any kind of perfection in spiritual practices. It's only meant for this. Oh, the pizza was good and that movie was good. Yeah, keep on. Because your design, your sensory and motor system now is designed only for these things. And you'll be with that. The moment you have started doing some spiritual practices, you don't recoil from that. It's like now you are feeling a kind of an elevated sense of being, that you know that there must be something higher to be attained. So there are various indications. You might like certain foods, you might dislike those old foods that you used to have. Your personality undergoes change, your habits undergo change, and slowly you are getting towards this. So a perfect Siddha. And then again, that's the beauty of Sri Ramakrishna's tea. He always couples his teaching with an illustration. Then he says, an analogy is given in the Vedanta to explain this. The master of a house is asleep in a dark room. Someone is groping in the darkness to find him. He touches the couch and says, no, it's not he. He touches the window and says, no, it is not he. He touches the door and says, no, it is not he. This is known in the Vedanta as the process of neti neti. Not this, not this. At last, his hand touches the master's body and he exclaims, "Here he is." In other words, he is now conscious of the existence of the master. He has found him, but he doesn't yet know him intimately. So you go to the process of, as you're proceeding, oh, no, it's not this, it's not this. What is Brahman? What is the reality? Oh, it's not this, it's not this. And then you come to the heart of the matter. You get a glimpse of it. Because you've got to discard some of those old illusions that we have about ourselves, about the world, and even about God. Once you've discarded them, you are now free to see that reality as it is. Because most of us are saddled with just beliefs. We have these beliefs, and then the beliefs is a wrong belief also. People have faith in that. So first we have a belief, and then Vedanta does not start with any belief. You don't have to believe in anything outside your own existence. You don't doubt your own existence. That is a starting point. You don't even have to believe in a book or some prophet or some sage has said something a few thousand years ago. It's like Swami Vivekananda says, if that person has eaten, it's not going to satisfy your hunger. You've got to eat it yourself. So this is a process of Vedanta. And it takes a lot of courage to be a Vedanta. People nowadays say, oh, I'm a Vedantist. Yeah. You've got to be heroic in order to tear yourself away from some of these old beliefs and misconceptions that you have. You go to the process, like it's in the dark. You're going about, feeling about, thinking, oh, this is not what I'm looking for. This is not looking. This is not looking. You're still in the dark. Then you touch what you're looking for. Ah, here it is. But you're still in the dark. Yeah, you can run your hand. Oh, this is what. Oh. Then comes the next class when Sri Ramakrishna says, another type known as the Siddha of the supremely perfect, the perfect of the perfect. Siddha of the. It is quite different when one talks to the master intimately. Yeah, the person is still in the dark, still he knows that master is here, he's talking to it. Oh, you were lying on here. Oh, yeah, he's talking. He's saying, when one knows God very intimately through love and devotion, a Siddha, the third class of aspirant, has undoubtedly attained God, but the supremely perfect has known God very intimately. This is what it is. It's like suddenly you turn on the lights. You are no longer in the dark. So many people, they do have a glimpse, but then, they're still there, but it has not fully dawned. That realization has not come like a flash of light. Now you know, then you can talk to God. And we in the lives of Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother and direct disciples, you could see them. They talked to God. Yeah, like Sri Ramakrishna is talking to Mother Kali. Oh, Mother, why did you get him here? No, he's kind of a hopeless, useless fellow. I'm tired, I'm this and that. Don't bring me this, don't bring me that. And at times he's even having a mild quarrel, as they say, with the Divine Mother. Kali has now become tangible to him. And it's not only when he was alone. When there are a group of people sitting around, he used to talk to her. There are people, but they can't see. Well, he could see her. So this, he's speaking also not only what the Vaishnavas say, he's also speaking from his own experience. And this is what, this book is nothing but a record of his experiences. So then he continues. But in order to realize God, one must assume one of these attitudes. They are Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhura. So these are the 5 moods, the 5 attitudes that one needs to. Because first thing, you've got to be related in some way to the goal. If you are separate and the goal is completely separate from you, why bother? There is some part of you that you find there within the goal. And there's some aspect of that goal that one finds within oneself. The people think, oh, this is the starting point, that's the end point, and I have nothing to do in the middle. No. So what happens is, the goal now is there, part of you. A bigger, major part of you is that goal already here. It is not going somewhere outside. Now, when speaking about it here, you got to say, this is the starting point and this is the end point, and the aspirant reaches the goal. It's always, we think in those terms. Outside reaches the goal. The goal is within. You are within, the goal also is within. The journey is within. So both the aspirant and the thing to be attained, the goal, are reflecting on each other. They partake on each other's nature. The goal is part of you, part of your personality. It has become part of your personality. And you find some aspects of you within the goal. That is why this becomes easy. And Sri Ramakrishna, all through, he will emphasize this aspect, that you must be related in some way or the other to the goal. You have to have a relationship. And in the old days, they gave us these 5, you can say, moods. So in order to approach that goal, again, approach that goal within. So the first is Shanta, the serene attitude. The rishis of olden times had this attitude towards God. They did not desire any worldly enjoyment. It is like the single-minded devotion of a wife to a husband. She knows that a husband is the embodiment of beauty and love, a veritable Madan, that is the God of love. So that madness of love in the initial days has given rise to a more sedate, a more tempered love. Now it has become more deeper. The understanding has become more deeper. And that brings you a kind of a confidence, a peace. The restlessness has gone off. So you trust that, you love that, you can sacrifice for that. So the idea of that self has now become broken when you are now interacting with that goal in this particular attitude, the Shanta. It's written as, translated as serene attitude. It's also, Shanta is also the peaceful attitude. You know in your heart of heart, I belong to God. And God belongs to me. This is what brings peace. People say, how do you get peace? Well, can you do that? If you can, you get it. Then the second mood is, let's say, dasya, the attitude of a servant towards his master. Hanuman had this attitude towards Rama. He felt the strength of a lion when he worked for Rama. A wife feels this mood also. She serves her husband with all her heart and soul. A mother also has a little of this attitude, as Yashoda had towards Krishna. Yashoda was the foster mother of Krishna. She brought him up. So he also showing parallels that you serve the Lord with your time, with your energy, with your intelligence, with all the other faculties that you have. And as I said, serving God also means serving that same God which is within all of us, serving human beings. In fact, Gauri Pandit, one of the Pandits was saying, that's the highest, you can say, stage where you can see your own wife as that same God and the wife sees the husband as that God. It's very difficult. But then these are the attitudes. You might take one and this might be okay, it's in consonance with my personality. So you can, we are not limiting it only to 5. Whatever, the idea is to build up a relationship. Then, Sakya, the attitude of friendship. Yeah, God can be a friend. Why not? Friends say to one another, come here and sit beside me. Sri Dharma, he was a friend of Sri Krishna. Another friend sometimes fed Krishna with fruit, part of which had already been eaten, and sometimes climbed on his shoulder. We all know what friendship is like, how friends interact. Those formalities have gone, all those, you can say, blinders have gone off, and all those, you can say, pretensions have gone off, and you can just open your heart to your friend. This is what actually happens when you worship God with this particular attitude. Okay, you know what I am. I know what you are. Okay, I am full of faults and can't do anything about it. You open your heart like that. So that's a very noble way. And problem is we think God is a kind of a punisher, because we have been brought up, thou shalt not have any strange gods before me. God with a rod, stand up, is going to beat you. We have seen in the life of Girish Ghosh, which we have on every Friday, that Sri Ramakrishna never told him to stop drinking or stop visiting prostitutes or stop, nothing. He was more like a friend to him. The friends not go and lecture you and, God is something like this. He is not going to tell you, you get out. You're too filthy for me. Get out. I'm standoffish. No. Because the friendship is based on love. A deep sense of love. Know that I can tell everything to my friend and the friend is not going to be judgmental. Or the friend will say, even I had similar experiences. Before you can even finish what you come to tell your friend, the so-called friend keeps on telling his problems. A friend will just listen to you. And then So, and this is the attitude that one has with God. Okay. Vatsalya, the attitude of a mother towards a child. That was Yashoda's attitude towards Krishna. The wife too has a little of this. She feeds the husband and with her very lifeblood, as it were. The mother feels happy only when the child has eaten to its heart's content. Yashoda would roam about with butter in her hand in order to feed Krishna. This is known, but yeah, it's not only the human mothers are like that. All mothers. You can find it in all the mammalian species. All mothers are like that. Even amongst the birds you will find. Oh, they will die in order to go out and bring food for the little ones. So that love, that is extremely powerful. And it's not that, oh, I have a male body and that is nothing. Which is the goddess is embodied in all of us, also as a mother. Ya Devi Sarvabhutesha Matrurupena Samsita. This is what it is. So the mother attitude is in all beings, not only in other mammals, not only in women, but also in men. So so we can approach God with that kind of strength. Madhur, the attitude of a woman towards her lover, paramour. Radha had this attitude towards Krishna. The wife also feels it for her husband. This attitude includes all the other four. Madhura Bhav is that intense, that madness of love. You lose yourself in that. We all know what's love. But when you know that you can go to the very limit of yourself in order to seek that kind of fulfillment in love, this is called Madhura, means sweet. So there everything has kind of disappeared. Love means you've got to forget yourself when you love. I am a CEO of a company, a CFO, and you're not going to love. You'll never be able to love because that's not the mask that you wear. So there's an old Sufi, you can say, not a poem, but we know that it was written down and Swami Vivekananda quotes. So it happened in the Middle East. One Sufi is going to another Sufi whom he loves. He knocks on her door. Who is there? She answers. It is I, my beloved. Open the door. The door does not open. The next night, again he comes. Again he knocks. Who is it? It is me. Why don't you open the door? The door. The third night, again he comes. Knocks. Who is it? It is thyself, my beloved. Then the door was open. This is the sweetness, the Madhura, the one when you lose yourself in that love. There is no time, no place, no personality. It's just that all-encompassing love. So this is what actually happens. Okay, let's proceed. There's another interesting question. M. When one sees God, does one see Him with these eyes? Yes. Now that is a question that everybody. Like, God has become objective. Like an object, like a stool or a chair or a table. Master, God cannot be seen with these physical eyes. divinity cannot be experienced by these eyes, this brain. As I said, it needs to be refined, purified, not with its physical eyes. In the course of spiritual discipline, one gets a love body endowed with love eyes. See, in the original, the word uses Premer Sharir, that is, body made out of love. Okay. In another place, he calls it also the Bhagavati Tanu, a divine body. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, one chapter, the whole chapter is, Arjuna says, I want to see your divine form. I think you cannot see it with these eyes. I'll give you a divine eyesight. I'll give you divine eyes. So you'll be able to see all this. And he gives it to him, and the whole battlefield scene changes. He sees the huge cosmic forms of God, and he becomes terrified. He wasn't ready. A person like Arjuna, he wasn't ready for that. And after describing, I can see this, I can see that, oh my God, mind-boggling descriptions. We think a God is like this. Out of his compassion, he comes along like this. Yeah, we think God is something like a candy from a store. We can go buy it and, oh no. That was also God's grace that he can become also a candy. But you see the real nature of God. So he was terrified. He had got that divine vision, but he couldn't absorb. Then he's saying, oh no, please. Take away that vision. Take away. I want to see that lovable human form of yours. So it is this body, as I was mentioning, that you got to do all your spiritual practices and your body and mind gets purified. This is what happens. A separate kind of body is separate. You have an internal body that becomes transformed. Like you have the physical body, then you have a subtle body, and you have various levels in that subtlety. And then you have a causal body, and all these, we have 3 bodies. So your internal body becomes transformed. It becomes a body of love. It becomes burnished. It becomes bright. And it can no longer be contained by the physical body itself. Oh yeah. Sometimes it just emerges out. This guy is not letting me out. I can go out. So this body of love. So he's saying love body, Premer Sharir, body of love. So with senses and etc., he gets. One hears the voice of God with those love ears. You want to hear the word? Yeah. There was one Swami, a senior, and another junior Swami had gone to meet him. And then saying, Swami, we've heard that you can hear all the time that it's called the unstruck sound. It's the sound of Om, which is pervading the universe. The Greeks used to call it the music of the spheres. There is a. So, here very simple. Yeah. And he said, can't you hear it? So I said, no, but can you hear it now? Of course, he just closed the eyes, yes. But, that Swami had gone there with the questions of this to confirm what he had heard from the other monks. So that old Swami was kind of much advanced in age and advanced in spiritual life. So he could hear that sound. This is a sound that pervades the universe from the atom, from the subatom, even down, whatever down. It's all energy, it's vibrating. That whole universe is vibrating. That vibration gives up that sound. This is a primeval sound. And the symbol is that Om. So it is one of the greatest mystical symbols that has ever encapsulated the entirety of the universe. It's a mystic sound. It's the holiest word that is there in the Vedas. So then he says, it's not only the sensory, he's saying one hears a voice, one even gets a sexual organ made of love. At these words, M burst out laughing. The master continued unannoyed. With this love body, the soul communes with God. This is what. So your sensory, it's not something static. The body made of, the divine body made of love. It's, like I said, it can come out and go in and do things. So this love body has its sensory and motor organs also. And that is in consonance with what Vedanta also says. So the subtle body is made of all the subtle senses and the mind and the intelligence and the memories and the sense of identity and all these things are there. So it is only through this body of love body, that you can commune with God. Not on the physical. You cannot. But its effect is felt, the love body's effect is felt on the physical body. You find, even in Christian saints, mystics, you find that they used to experience the stigmata. They used to think so deeply on the passion of Christ, they used to feel that. Sri Ramakrishna, all through his life, his body used to undergo tremendous changes. And people were not doctors couldn't figure out what's happening. There was one doctor, Sri Ramakrishna says, who said, oh, all these diseases, these symptoms that he's experiencing is due to this practice of yoga. And only when his guru, the saint Bhairavi Brahmani, when she came in, she could understand the science, and she then slowly applied these remedies. There was constant burning, and that the body used to be so hot, and Sri Ramakrishna says, wherever I sat down, the clay used to get caked. And he had to stand in neck-deep water with a towel over his head just to keep himself cool. Then he used to go on a eating rampage. He could, all these things that were just unbelievable for the body to undergo. And she gave these simple solutions, spiritual solutions, and the love body's effect on the physical body was neutralized. That is what. So it's with this love body, the soul communes with God. It's amazing. Because now you know God also has a love body. It's a body. You see, when you say love body, in Vedanta, you cannot separate love from joy and existence. Because God also has a love body. He is also full of joy, and God is that existence. So there you sync. That's why you commune with it. It's called in Vedanta Asti Bhati Priya. Priya is this joy, this love. Asti is existence, to be. Bhati is to shine. So love has these other components. It's part actually, it's not a component like, separate kind of thing. You join together. Love means existence. Love means joy. That is what unites yourself with God. And that's the reason why the scriptures on devotion say when the intensity of devotion becomes to its highest pitch, where the lover and the beloved and all, they merge. The subject and the object merges. This is what happens. So then he say, M again becomes serious after his laughter. The master. But this is not possible without intense love of God. So we'll take this up the next time, next Wednesday. Very interesting. So we can, if there are any questions, if there are any questions here, there are no questions here. So, yeah, this things, he has kind of simplified things, a lot of things. And it makes sense because religion was cluttered with so much secret things. We have secret knowledge. We have the secret vows we got to undertake. We have the esoteric, you can say practices. And it's very mysterious and mystic, and the whole thing had become clouded. Oh, that is what, if you must have some kind of thing that, that religion had become kind of mysterious. And this throws the floodlight. Why should religion and why should spiritual practices, why the search for the reality be so mysterious and clouded and dark? Nothing. So it has brought hope for humanity. Okay. So if there are no questions, we can stop here. Of course, I am out there. We can have a small chat if you still have any questions. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Pranamastu. So on Friday we have, Girish Ghosh, 7 p.m. Sunday we have Sunday talk, which is Shakti, the goddess in our midst, at 10 a.m. And in the afternoon, 4 o'clock, we'll have the 8th day worship of the Divine Mother as Durga. So it's Durga Puja, the whole 10 days of worship. So, and also we'll have the mother's children. So I took the theme Shakti because that's the power. Shakti is power. And that is personalized as the various goddesses. At this particular time of the year, or this particular stage of spiritual growth, this particular power is more manifest. And that's why that power is worshipped as. And why mother? Because, mother is, we know why. She draws us all to. Om Shanti Shanti.